channel. Welcome back to another video. I'm Jessie and you're watching Messy Jessie in a house. What up, y'all? So excited to be bringing you an original book tag. This is the Annotate book tag where we talk about annotations. Annotating videos are some of the most popular videos on YouTube, on BookTube, the ways that us as booktubers annotate our books. I feel like the community really enjoys them, and also we're just really into annotating. A lot of us, not all of us, but a lot of us are just really into annotating our books. I've gotten really into annotating as a direct result of BookTube, and so I figured I would make a tag surrounding this topic. And it's weird because I was really surprised that there wasn't already a tag surrounding annotating, given how much we just freaking love it. So I was like, you know what? Let's create one. And there are a bunch of questions. I went a bit overboard, but I wanted to make sure that this tag was done with so much detail. So feel free to skip questions. Feel free to rapid fire the questions because there's like 16 of them. And I am just really freaking excited about this video. The phrasing of the questions is going to be in the description box below. I didn't edit my questions. I just wrote them down. I actually ended up writing them in the back of Bunny. So I'm just going to be reading them and I will phrase them much more eloquently in the description box below. So freaking excited. The very first question in the Annotate book tag is, do you put sticky notes on both pages? Meaning that if you annotate both pages, do you just put one flag or do you put a flag on each page? Personally, I like to put a flag on only one page. This is because tabs are not cheap and I use a lot of tabs in my books. I am not sparing about my tabs. The second question is, do you color code to match your book covers or do you stick to a specific color system? Now, my answer to this is yes to both. With Bunny, just because this cover is adorable, I decided to use only pink tabs. But if I'm reading science fiction, fantasy, I have a whole system, right? And so I will color code. If I'm reading, I have specific colors that I use for things like quotations, for things like character work, for world building, etc., and so on. Now, if I am reading, let's say, literature, I do the same thing. If I am reading something that's more unilateral, though, in tone and has less going on, such as Bunny, then I'm comfortable just matching it to the book cover. Or if the book cover is just simply so adorable that I don't want to put too many different colored tabs, like I want to keep the aesthetic of the book preserved. In that case, it doesn't happen very often. But in that case, I will just pick flags that only match the book. What is the first book that you annotated? I would love to hear your responses to this question in particular, because I don't know about y'all, but I don't remember. I don't know. I have no freaking clue. I don't know. I've been annotating for 3 years and it just kind of happened. I don't know. What I could do, I guess, is go back through my Amazon history and see when I first ordered page flags, because I didn't even know what page flags were before I joined BookTube. And then I could, check out my TBR from that month or my wrap up from that month and paste it together. That's too much work. I'm not doing that. So I don't have an answer for my own question. The next question is, were you ever against annotating your books? Yes, younger me would be appalled. They would be horrified. They would have jumped off of a cliff if they knew that we were annotating our books in the future. There's just absolutely no way. I was so vehemently against annotating my books, writing in my books, dog-earing my books. I wanted my books to look like they weren't even read. And my perspective on that has shifted and changed and evolved over the years. Now I annotate my books so that I can pass them down to my descendants at some point in time. I would love to gift my library in my will to somebody that I really care about, whether it's my spouse, my kids, whatever. I'm probably not gonna have kids, but you know, my dog, I'll teach her to read. I don't know. I just think it would be really cool if I do end up having kids in particular and I'm gone. They have a whole library of my thoughts that they can read throughout their lifetime. And it's like I never left, you know? So yes, I was very against annotating, and because I was just a young elitist little thing. Not to say that all people who are against annotating are elitist, but I most certainly was. I can't speak for y'all, but I most definitely was. And now I want to leave my mark on books. I want to look at a book and just know how much I loved it. I want to visualize. I want to visually see and touch and feel the energy that I put into it and the way that I affected it and the ways that it affected me. Yes, absolutely. So the answer to this question is I was really against annotating at some point in my life. The next question is, did you go all in or did you ease in slowly? And for me, I had to ease in slowly because there just was no freaking way that I was going to be able to jump right in and just go ham. Those of you who also were hesitant to annotate, let me know if you were a person who was able to go just 0 to 60, from being against annotating or never having annotated to just doing everything, page flags, highlighting, writing, all of that. But I started with using tabs, and then I graduated to highlighting, and then finally moving to using pencil and then marker. The next question is, when you annotate a book, do you keep 2 copies, an annotated and an unannotated version? If it is a book that I absolutely adore, I will keep 2 copies of it, especially if it is a book that I'm interested in lending out. Definitely will keep 2 copies of it. I have a Holy Grail bookshelf, and I like my Holy Grail books for the most part to be pretty pristine. I also really enjoy annotating the paperback version and then leaving the hardcover version unannotated. I think that that's pretty fun. But I won't be bothered if I don't have 2 copies. Like, I definitely don't do this for every single book. Akwaeke Emezi's books, I try and have an annotated and an unannotated version for those books. Have you ever had someone annotate a book for you? My answer is no. I would absolutely love this though, just to have some annotations in my book from somebody who I absolutely love and adore. Yes, that would be so cool. I've most certainly annotated books for other people though. For example, for Jan's birthday, I am annotating Malibu Rising. I annotated Frankly in Love for Tahira of Sincerely Tahiri. The next question is, do you like used books with annotations? My answer for this, I do. I really do. I'm very interested in other people's thoughts on books, which is why I'm on BookTube. And it doesn't bother me to see other people's experiences and annotations with a book. I find it fascinating and quite interesting. However, I will say I have a used copy of My Lovely Wife. And the annotations in that book, I have questions.
I got questions.
For some reason, the person who was annotating before me went through and highlighted every single name in the book. No matter how mundane, like the name of the person at the gas station, just every single name. I was confused. I want to track this person down and ask them, ¿por qué? Next question. Have you ever gotten hate or horrified stares for annotating, writing in a book? Yes. Oh, yes. I've had people look at me on a bus as if I personally was ripping the wings off of a butterfly. Look, and I get it. I would be horrified too if this was back in the day. It just absolutely killed me. But one of the questions that I have whenever somebody looks at me wild when I am annotating in public, do you read books? Because if you don't actively read books and you're sitting here side-eyeing me, I'm gonna need you to collect yourself. I also frequently have people think that I'm annotating for school, as if I paid that much attention in school. Next question is, what do you annotate with? I annotate with everything. I will use a crayon if I have to. I annotate with markers. I annotate with pens, pencils. I like to have like my nice fine tip pens that I use to annotate, and I like the ones that are double-ended that have a highlighter on the end and then fine tip pen on the other. But my pen set is sadly, it's all out. All of those pens are dry. So please leave some suggestions for really good fine tipped pens in the comment section. I would really appreciate that. I would annotate with a dandelion petal if need be. If you use sticky tabs, How far into the book do you put them? Y'all on BookTube are monsters. This is how some of y'all look when you put your sticky tabs in the book. Y'all be like, and I don't understand.
I don't get it.
I don't get it. This thing. Why do I think I'm so much funnier than I am? I personally like them to just peek out. Just peek the way that I did in high school. Okay, just like sticking out so barely. And this one bugs me. Next question. Have you ever regretted annotating a book? Have you ever regretted writing in a book and you were like, man, I just wish I would have kept that pristine and beautiful? And my answer is no. I have committed, I have made up my mind, and we're just sticking to it. Next question is why? Why do you annotate? And in addition to me doing it so that I can pass these books down one day, I also annotate because I have memory issues, pretty severe memory issues. I don't talk about them. Although I have a great ability to remember what I read, when I do read an annotation that I wrote, it makes everything so vivid. It brings back scenes from the book. It just brings everything to the front of my mind. Things that I just completely forgot. How I felt when I was reading it. Sometimes what I was wearing when I was reading. It's just everything. So that is another reason why I annotate my books. Next question is, do you use a ruler to annotate? I like to use a ruler simply because I just cannot draw straight lines. But I'm also becoming more and more comfortable with just like having just a wild crooked line, you know, just being too excited and just, I'm getting comfortable with annotating in an ugly way. I feel like there's a hierarchy with annotating, like,
oh, if you annotate, it has to be pretty or else it's a sin.
I don't know. So I'm getting comfortable with letting my annotations be ugly and messy and scrawly and crooked lined. The next question is, do you annotate every book that you read? My answer is no. Sometimes I just can't bring myself to write in a book. Other times, if it is just a really fast paced, like a summer romance, and I just don't have many thoughts, I'm not reading it for thematic purposes, I won't bother annotating it. I only annotate when the mood strikes. You know, if the mood doesn't strike me, I don't annotate. That is the tag. I really hope y'all like this tag. Please do it. I'm going to be searching it and I'm very freaking excited about it. Now it comes time for me to tag the people to do the tag. I'm going to tag Hannah of Clockwork Reader, Darla of Starla Reads, Chloe of Books with Chloe, Kevin of Irish Reader, Alexandra of Alexandra Roseland, Alexa of Library of Alexa, Jan of Jan Agaton, Becca of Becca and the Books, and Reagan of Peruse Project. Have fun, do the tag. Let's chat in the comment section down below. Those of you who don't have channels, feel free to just type out your answers down below because I would love to see them. Okay, I'll see you in my next video. Here's my Instagram. Definitely follow it if you want more content from me. Stay safe, wear a mask. Bye.